So sort of to get back on track, you were telling us that you were about 10 days in Dachau, and then they sent you about 10 miles down the road to Mauthausen,
Mauthausen, right.
which was as bad as Dachau.
Well, yes. It was a terrible place, all right. It was on the side of a mountain, and inside the mountain was where they had a factory to build machine guns. And the prisoners were working in that factory to build the machine guns. Because they marched them into the mountain during the day. That night they marched them back out and put them into the barracks. The barracks were just nothing but a slab of boards. They put a tier of three. They had 3 tiers, boards, no mattresses.
And that's where everyone slept.
And that's where everybody slept, if they could. But the trouble was that they all had a bad case of lice, and the Germans weren't doing anything to get rid of the lice.
Mm.
So they had a terrible time with the lice. And I guess the prisoners didn't have anything to take care of the lice either. So in the headquarters of this operation, they had what looked like a dentist chair. That's what we thought it was. Until we found out that what they were doing was pulling the gold out of the prisoners' teeth.
Yeah.
That's what they had the dentist chair for. And that was a terrible exercise. Then they had a room there where they had a see-through. You could look in the room and see what was going on in the room, but the people in the room couldn't see out. What they would do is bring in a German woman and put her in there with some of the prisoners, men, all naked. And of course they would watch from the windows to see what was going on. It was quite a terrible place.
When you were there, were there any of the German officers or the people who ran the camp? Were they left?
No, not at the camp, no. They were gone.
And I had read someplace that within the prisoners themselves there was a hierarchy, and some of the leaders of the groups were called campos. Do you remember anything like that?
I don't remember anything about that, no.
How long were you at Mauthausen?
Mauthausen? About a month.
Wow.
And they're the same thing. You all were treating and assisting the people who had survived the trauma there.
Yeah. Mauthausen was very hilly, and they used to, the Germans, if they came upon a guy that was a prisoner that was not pleasing them, they would, in the wintertime, they'd take this prisoner naked, take him up on the hill, and spray water on him. course, he'd freeze to death. It was a terrible situation.
Now, when you were in Dock Allen and Mount House, and was it about April or May? Do you recall about what month that was? It's a little warmer there.
I can't remember.
Mm.
But I think it was in April or May.
And what were your specific duties? Do you recall?
Well, I was in charge of the vehicles we had there. And of course, all the men who worked on the vehicles, all drivers, reported to me. And I had to be sure that we had the proper fuel, proper oil, and all that stuff. We used to be able to get gasoline by going to a gasoline dump, they called it, where they would have the gasoline stored.
Mm-hmm.
So we could get gasoline okay.
Now, were some of these folks being evacuated to another area once they were healthy enough to be moved?
I don't know what happened to them.
Mm. And do you recall anything about what Major Golden was doing at the time?
He was in charge of the whole area there. I remember he told me to take this car, this German car. He said I was to use that car, and he gave me different places to go because we had to deliver medicine and deliver different things like that. And this German car was not very good, but it was good enough that I could get around in it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember once I went I went to a German hospital where there were German prisons, and German SS troopers were standing around the front of the entrance. And when I drove up there, I was a little bit apprehensive about them. You could tell they were German SS troopers because they had special clothes. And they they looked like they were ready to kill me right there. But of course they weren't armed at the time, and I wasn't either. I had my Red Cross band on.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in, I had to deliver some medicine at that time. I went into the building, gave the medicine, and came out, and those German SS troopers were looking like they were going to kill me any minute. But they didn't bother me really. And anyway, I got back in my car and drove back to where I was supposed to be stationed. But that car was an Opel, and it was a fairly new model of Opel, but it was not a very good car really.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember my father's reaction, any specific reaction he had when he entered Dachau or the other concentration camp?
No, I don't remember anything that happened with him, but I think some of the other officers had to take control of things. He was assigned to something else when we went into Dachau. The father went to somewhere else, I think. I forget where. I remember Captain, one of the captains had a camera. And he took pictures of this pile of bodies. And he said, why don't you get in front of that picture and I'll take a picture of you in the front of the bodies. I said, no way. I don't want to have a picture of that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, last thing you ever want to remember. Do you remember if any high-ranking generals or other officials from the UK forces or the American forces came to Dachau or Mauthausen when you were there?
UK?
The British,
Oh, the British?
French, any of them?
No,
No.
none of them came. I remember when we were in Austria after the war was over. We were walking up beside the Danube River,
Mm-hmm.
and there was I guess a dirt road there, and me and another soldier was walking up this road. I don't know where we were going or why we were there, but anyway, 3 Russian soldiers came by. They were coming toward us, and they had these sawed-off shotguns, and they said these are, we could just about understand what they're trying to say, but they were trying to say that their burp guns were better than the M1s. So
Which you were carrying, or at
No.
least the Americans were carrying, right?
yeah, the guy that was with me had an M1, and that M was no good, no good. And anyway, these were just kids, Russian kids, maybe 13 or 14 years old.
Oh, wow. That's
They
very young.
weren't even, I don't think they had a beard.
There's the map shows Badish
Audition.
right near near Salzburg.
Yeah. Practice garden.
So where's your route? Do you recall where your route was?
We came up through Italy and into Lienz,
Linz,
right,
L-I-E-N-Z.
right, and into Munich,
So you did go into Munich,
and Munich, oh yes,
and then into Salzburg. So you went from Munich to Salzburg to get into Austria.
right,
And then you went to Bad Ischl. It's
Right.
I-S-C-H, or I-S-C-H-L.
Audition.
Bad Ischl. And where did you end up? What was the last place you were?
Bad Ischl.
Bad Ischl. And then from there you went
We went back to France,
France and Marseille. And then you left from Marseille to come home.
Marseille, yeah.
Did you have to wait a long time after
Yes,
you...
it's terrible.
Yeah, I heard that a lot of troops had to wait sometimes a month before they could
Oh.
even get on a ship.
About 2 months.
So you waited 2 months before
Well,
you...
in Bad Ischl, we stayed in Bad Ischl about 3 months.
Mhm.
And of course we were itching to go home. And finally they put us on a train, cattle car. And this cattle car took about 2 weeks to go from Bad Ischl to Marseille. It was always very, very slow.
Yeah.
And had to set aside space for the passenger cars, French passenger cars. And but anyway, we finally got to Marseille, and Marseille was a big dirty town, just filthy town. Of course, it was a seaport, so it was very bad.
Do you remember the name of the ship you were on to come back?
No, I don't remember it.
Come back through England.
No, we came back
Marseille.
from Marseille. We came back straight to the United States.
Did you stay in the service long after that?
No, I got out
You
as soon
were
as I
out.
could. As soon as I could, I got out.
Now, did you go to Hampton Roads? Is that where you ended up? I mean, the ship came back to Hampton Roads? Or?
No.
I'm gonna,
I was wishing to
Far
go
out
there,
coast.
but we came back to
everything else anyway. Stuff I copied. Just here.
Fort Dix, New Jersey.
Oh,
Ah.
so you went up there.
I did my basic training there,
Is that right?
1957.
And so I did in 1960 my basic training at Fort
Mhm.
Dix.
That's funny. How long did the trip back take? Do you recall?
Coming back from Marseille
Yeah.
to Fort Dix,
Right.
about 5 days.
Oh,
Took 21 days to go
yeah, it's pretty
from,
quick.
from Norfolk to Oran, Algeria. 21 days.
How many days from Oran to Naples? I know you had an incident in between there.
Yeah.
Do you recall?
From Oran to Naples, it took 3 days.
Mm.
But mostly because we were trying to avoid the German torpedo bombers.
Right.
We got through the first night okay. But the second night, after we left Oran, and we were on one of these LSTs, which is a landing ship tank, which is like a big bathtub, full of trucks and tanks, and
Was it open on top or closed?
it was closed. Well, it had an open deck, but it also had closed area
Holds, I
too.
guess.
Yeah. We had they had staterooms for the officers,
Mm-hmm.
and it took us 3 days to go from Oran, Algeria to Naples, but part of the time was because we stopped at what's that smell? Cyprus, no,
Sicily.
Sicily. We stopped at Sicily for some reason, I don't know why. But they stopped at Sicily, and we were able to get off for half a day. And then we got back on and headed up toward Naples.
Mm-hmm.
We went through the Straits of Cyprus.
Gibraltar.
No, it wouldn't have been the States.
No,
Oh,
not
no,
Gibraltar.
no, yeah, you're right. It wouldn't have
Wait,
been. I know.
you mean on the way to Naples?
Yes.
From Sicily,
It's between Sicily and
Naples.
yeah. Well, it's between Sicily and the foot of the toe.
The Aegean.
It's
Very narrow strait.
yes.
Mm.
Anyway, we got through there no problem. And we got to Naples. And when we got to Naples, they said, hey, y'all got a bomb caught in the cargo net. They had a net around the ship. That one of
The ship you were on?
yes,
Oh my goodness.
one of the torpedo bombs was a dud, apparently. And that was a lucky strike for us.
Boy, I'd say.
Yeah.
And you probably dragged it along for a good while too, right?
Yes, right.
Oh my goodness.
Because they had attacked us 2 days prior to that. And of course, we had Navy gunners on our ships. We had 3 ships in that convoy. And naval gunners on the front and the back of the ship with cannon and machine guns.
Mm-hmm.
And they shot down the torpedo bombers before they ever got to us. But they did release some of the torpedoes. But they didn't hit anything, except they hit our cargo net.
Wow.
And when we got to Naples, that was a hellhole.
I think, is that where Dad told me, he wrote that he was put on MP duty for
That's right.
a while?
All the officers, except the chaplain, were put on MP duty. We had to patrol at night. You had certain streets you had to go down and patrol just to see that everything was copacetic. And one night, it was the second night, we were down the street and we noticed that the door opened onto the street in this house. So we pushed the door open, and inside was a bedroom right by the door. In the bedroom was a man nearest the door, and next to the man was a woman, and next to the woman was I guess a teenage girl, and next to that was another teenage girl, next to that was a black soldier. So we decided to get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
And that black soldier was a truck driver. Of course, there were a lot of black truck drivers in that time, and they had to carry the food around in the truck, and of course they'd get favors from the girls, from the Italian girls. And anyway, that
Probably in exchange for food, is that right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then another time we came upon this door that opened into a stairway that went down, way down into the ground. It was apparently an air raid shelter. And it opened up into quite a large area. And nothing there but dirt. But it was an air raid shelter apparently. And of course we didn't have any reason to stay there, so but we just wanted to explore it.
Yeah. Willis, were any of the doctors, including Dad or you, were you, other than the MP situation, were you carrying weapons?
No, never,
Never, not even a pistol.
never. No,
Why was that?
against the law.
Military law, or was it international law that you remember?
I guess international law. If you carried a weapon, you were a target for practice, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think you said when we last spoke that because the hospitals were always on the move, they didn't have any nurses, female nurses.
No, never.
And yet, we do see some pictures of the group with nurses around. Would that have been later?
It must have been later.
Later in the...
Could it have been at Camp Barkley?
No.
No, this would have been.
No.
It would have been later than that because this was in Europe, but it just could have been, you know, visiting. I guess some of the hospitals, maybe the evac hospitals. Did they have nurses?
Not that I know of.
So you don't remember female nurses anyway around
No.
there at all.
Never.
And do you have any recollection of the visits by General Clark?
Not General Clark, but Winston Churchill. When we were in Naples, Italy,
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to go to France, our ship and 2 or 3 others were in the Bay of Naples, and we were about ready to take off, and along came this ship. We could tell it was a warship. And on the ship was, everybody said it was Winston Churchill, waving us on. We couldn't tell very well if it was Winston Churchill or who it was, but everybody said it was Winston Churchill. And it probably was.
Well, it was because he did. I mean, I do know from other sources that he did. You know, he was the principal cause of the delay of that invasion
Yeah.
because he wanted Italy conquered first before he pulled troops out of there. But he was on a ship and watched the entire invasion.
Yeah.
What other? So you don't remember? Do you remember visits by any of the generals, or do you remember any other prominent names, or any? Do you remember any war reporters? A lot of war reporters coming through. Any of that?
No.
You know, it sounds like I'm trying to match up my history, but when you all got there to Naples, the beginning of May of 1944, did you set up a hospital on the beach at Anzio?
No.
No. So, what did you have anything to do with Anzio?
No, we got the heck out of there as fast as we could.
Mm-hmm.
Anzio was a mess because it had been fought over so long. So many people were killed there, and there were so many foxholes.
You were there though, right?
Oh yeah, I was at Anzio, but not where the fighting was going on. We went there after the fighting, and we saw all these trenches where the soldiers had been hiding in the trenches, because they stayed there. The soldiers were there hiding from the Germans and fighting the Germans for a few months.
It was a disaster at Anzio.
That was quite a disaster there in Anzio. And I remember the psychiatrists were called in to work with some of these soldiers who were there, because some funny things were going on in the trenches. The men stayed in the trenches for days, and they didn't have anything to do but stay in the trenches. So some funny things were going on among the men, and so I had to clean up that mess.
Now I do remember one of Dad's letters at one point that I thought said that at least one of the platoons had set up a hospital for a while at Anzio.
No, we never had a hospital at Anzio. But we got the heck out of there for quite fast.
Mm-hmm. So you
Just a mess.
basically went there afterward.
We went through there.
Where did you all do your training? You know, your beach landing training in preparation for Operation Dragoon.
Naples.
So it was on the beaches at Naples.
In that general area, yes.
And did you find that was similar to what actually happened?
Yeah.
So you felt prepared for the landing? I mean, as much as you could be.
Yeah.
And we're going to have those too. Yeah. The German doctor who took all the pictures,
Yeah.
have I seen those pictures? Are they,
Um,
do you have them someplace else?
I've got them someplace else, yes.
One thing I want to do, Willis, these pictures here, including this one with Turkey. Margie was telling you they enclosed it. There it is,
Yeah,
all in.
right. Right.
Let me see.
Is that your dad?
Yeah.
Look at that.
These pictures here, I don't have.
You know
Everything, I went through all of this. You know, last time we went off and copied some stuff, and a lot of this is stuff I gave to you. Pictures, all these pictures that Dad had. But I think what I want to do is talk through these for a minute. Let's just see, because a lot of them are written on the other side.
That's
Talk through them
Elvis.
for a minute, and then I want to borrow them, scan them, and send them back to you.
Okay. It's Elvis, that's Lieber.
Okay, wait, can Margie pencil these on the back or something?
Well, if we can actually,
Oh, and you can get it back?
I can get it if we can get closer, yeah.
Okay, so we can just have Larry take a look at this. So this picture. Who is this fellow here? Do you recall?
I can't recall his name now.
How about that one?
Where's the magnifying glass that I need?
I can't recall his name.
This
That's
guy?
Tripp.
That's you?
That's me.
Really? Okay, and who's this?
A bunch of big guys there, Tripp.
Yeah. I can't remember their names.
All right, and this looks like you in the middle here,
Yes.
right? How's this fellow?
I think that's Leaf.
Leaf. Ah, and this one.
Albus.
Albus.
That's
okay.
the chaplain, yeah. So why don't you
Okay.
just jot that?
I'll just write it very lightly.
You can write it. You
Albus.
can write it. Leaf, Albus, and
It's on the video, I can tell on the video.
All right. Let's put 1, 2, 3, 4.
and
It's
there's-
Captain Bosch.
yeah, and this one's marked on the back.
Let me see that one.
Captain Bosch. And
Yes,
that's
sir.
taken
Let me see
in
that.
It's B-O-S-C-H.
Sarahberg.
E, I think.
Wait,
Cherbourg.
I'm missing
Cherbourg
the
in France.
picture.
This is it. This is Captain Bausch.
Wait, keep
Okay.
moving.
And this is, it's B-A-U-S-C-H, and it's taken in Cherbourg, France, in 1945.
Okay, good.
What we got here?
It's Lieberman and Tripp.
Lieberman, and you're on the
On
right.
the right.
So Lieberman is here on the left.
Okay, I'm getting a reflection. Right. Okay, Lieberman's on the left.
Lieberman, no.
Okay.
You can write darker margin.
Sweetie, I'm fine here. You can definitely see it.
Saarburg, France.
Okay, in this picture, somebody's
Sarahberg.
shadow. Cherbourg. It's-
Cherbourg?
Saarburg.
Sarahberg.
It's S-A-R-R-E-L, no, E-B-O-U-R-G.
Wait a second.
RG. That's what
France. This is just a view of the street taken from near the building we used for a hospital.
Okay.
That's Saarburg too.
Okay, this is also Sarburg. And do you remember who this is?
I don't
One of the
remember.
men in our company is what you said.
Huh?
But very neat handwriting.
Good. Got that?
Alrighty. We might with the magnifying glass.
I can still write fairly good. That's one thing I've been able to.
Well, excellent.
And your vision seems pretty good, right?
Well, yes, I'm. This is McKelvey, Major Golden's Jeep driver, with
Oh.
the
Oh, I
dog
see that.
that we brought from France.
Okay, so you got that, Larry? Can
What
you
is
see
that?
it
Let
pretty
me
well?
just let me get it to focus. Okay.
What is
Alright.
That was good.
He's got a dog jumping on him.
Looks almost
That's,
like Jeep.
That's McKelvey.
This is McKelvey,
Did you know about Jeep?
Oh, there
the
you go.
major's
That's
Jeep
what-
dog.
driver, and
My
one
father's
of the
dog
dogs.
from home.
No, I didn't know about that.
That was his.
This was at the entrance of where they used to winter for the hospital. That's great. What a great
And who
shot.
was McKelvey?
The Jeep driver.
Oh.
Apperson.
Okay. Let's see that now.
Appleson.
Apperson.
Okay.
Taken in the yard around the building we used for a hospital.
I'll go to the bathroom right back.
This is Horner, the mail clerk.
Okay, this is H-O-E-R-N-E-R, the mail clerk.
Great.
It's wonderful you took these. And these are a couple of dogs. And this is Les's assistant. He's the one who
Wait a
took all the
second.
pictures.
Somehow I'm losing.
Okay. And these are some of the dogs you brought from Italy.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Great. I love how y'all had dogs. I thought that was
Well-
great.
Okay. This is Les.
Right.
I sent her a lot of pictures. I sent her all these pictures.
Yeah. On Albus in the minister's box. And it's a church
Chaplain from your unit.
in... Yeah.
Yes.
Albus. And then it's in Bad Ischl, Austria in 1945, August.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We got some dates here then.
There's another picture of Bad Ischl Church.
Right. It's a picture of the one. And where do you think this was taken? Do you think this was at Camp Barclay?
Oh no, that was taken in France
So
or
you think-
Austria.
You think? Okay. But we should take it anyway.
You've already got that picture.
This. And then this little one here is also Willis and another person in there. I'm gonna figure out who these men are by the ones that you can't identify, and then I'll get everybody identified.
This is 1945.
This is in 1945.
45, right.
Okay.
From everything I could tell, he's no longer living.
What?
From everything I could tell, I
He's
think
not
he
living.
died several years ago.
No. I don't know anybody that's still living. I wish I did.
Who were the last people? Have you tried to reach any of them?
These are all
well,
identified on
you
the back.
Well, I
right?
tried to.
Reach Dad at that time?
No, he was
What?
in Maryland. I wanted him to come to our church in Maryland, where I was attending, but he didn't make it. I don't know why.
That was Chaplain Elvis?
Yes,
And when was that?
it was probably 1955,
Mm-hmm.
1960.
Do you know what he was doing in Maryland at that time?
No, I think you're just traveling.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's one of the buildings there. 45 in Sarlberg.
What?
He's very tan too.
Do you know where that picture was taken?
Sarlberg, France.
That's him in the middle, right?
Oh, it says somewhere in France or Germany. Just about all of the officers in our company, Major Golden, company commander, is in the center front. Captain Sherman, one of the two dentists in the company, is on the right front. I am on the left front. All the others are doctors.
Wow.
But he worked for me.
You all had quite an operation going there. It's
Oh,
very
yes.
impressive.
You had a lot going on all the time. I think Sherman, not Sherman, but Tobin. No, not Tobin. I don't remember.
Was Sherman and Tolman the dentist?
Let me see. Hold on.
And where?
Countryside where?
It's in Austria.
This was your Lucille had Parkinson's.
Yes.
And you know, my mother had it.
I know she did that.
From age 40 on.
I remember they came to Silver Spring there to our house, and she had a nurse's aide that was with her, and your mother was quite incapacitated at the time. But the nurse's aide helped her a lot.
That was probably Chicky. Chicky! Does that ring a bell? Italian girl.
Yes.
Now who was Lieber?
Lieber was one of the medical doctors.
Uh-huh.
He was a fine fellow.
Is he still living?
I doubt it.
Do you have some saran wrap? Oh, I saw some up there. I'm going to wrap these sandwiches up for you.
Ah, this is Bariso.
Radisha, yes. Beautiful
Oh,
country.
is that gorgeous?
Ooh, that's pretty.
This is Bariso. Alright, so these I'm going to take. I want to scan them at home, and then I'll send them right back to you.
Okay.
I don't wanna scan the napkin. But I do want something so that I'm sure I have all these, something to put these in. It's okay, here.
Let me get it on.
How you feeling?
Me?
Good now, right?
Weak.
Weak?
We're weak all the time.
Where's it? Do you feel in pain all the time?